Alrighty guys, so how's it going today? So I'm going to be making two videos today. This one right now is going to be of the new hose reel that I picked up. I had to double look at everything because I thought I was missing some parts. Because right here there's a big hole in this plastic, and I thought there was supposed to be more bolts in there, but apparently it's only supposed to be two. The rest of them, I guess, are right there. My box did come damaged, so I was a little bit concerned that I may be missing some parts. So far, I haven't noticed any missing parts. But yeah, I have pretty much everything unboxed, and I'm somewhat putting it together. I'm not going to be able to finish now, but I'm going to see what I can get done. Then I got to go to the farm. Apparently my uncle's taking down a couple of huge trees that need to be pulled with the 1586, so I got to do that. But I've been kind of waiting for this package to show up. This has been delayed by a day because apparently they got that something about an address was incorrect. I don't know if when it goes from warehouse to warehouse type thing, I don't know. Maybe it got lost at one of those, or it got sent to the wrong one, I mean. But yeah. Now I did order this on eBay. There was a guy that was selling it. I got a better deal there than you would on Northern Tool. I paid $74 for this. It's on sale for $69. But here, since I live in Minnesota, and this is where this come from, they taxed me $4. So $74 to have it shipped, but free shipping. Whereas if you were to order this on Northern Tool, you would pay $69 for the item, but then you'd be paying $20 for just standard shipping. So Northern Tool kind of rips you off. You kind of do get better deals on eBay, but I think if you order it from eBay, you get damaged items. So you get damaged boxes. I don't know. There's no sense to my box having two big holes on it. There's a hole in the bottom and then the hole halfway up it. The bottom looks like it's been stabbed by something. A little bit, I don't know if it's just like maybe they sat around too long and they wanted them gone, so they ship them off to somebody else, or what, or if it's just carelessness by UPS. So I'm a little ticked off at that, because when there's holes in your boxes, you need to start worrying about it, because you don't know if you're missing something, you don't know if something's broken or whatever the deal may be. So far I haven't noticed that I'm missing anything, but I'm not going to hold my breath on that because you just don't know yet. But it does come in pieces. You do have to put it together. It's basically all just bolt together. They don't really say what tools you need, but I have basically a little bit of everything. I think that will work for me. I do have some wrenches and stuff. You don't need to use an impact gun on these. Hand tight or a little tighter than that should be fine. Because I don't know how strong this metal is that's going to be able to take. Yeah, it's not that thick, so an impact will just crush it. So just get it hand tight and it should be good. And another thing I was going to complain about too that I wasn't really happy about. Apparently to put this thing together, like, because these two are in pieces, you can split it. Well, apparently to hold them together you need these little plates. These were not in anything, these were just laying there. Yeah, a good idea when you got a box full, it's got a giant hole in the side. Especially on the bottom. These things could fall down to the bottom and bouncing around in the back of a semi or whatever. Yeah, they're going to get lost. They're going to fall out. Luckily they fit these in the middle, but still. You don't know what could go wrong. You don't know what could happen to these things, and then I was worried about that maybe I was missing some bolts, because I thought there'd be more in here, but I guess there's some up here too. But even if I would have had lost one of these, I would have been screwed. I would have to run to the hardware and see if he's got that style of bolt. You know, and if you don't, then I'm screwed. I mean, I would have to basically get a bolt and make it fit, because these, I think, are basically like screws. Yeah, they're more like screws, you know. But I would have to replace it with a bolt, and that's trouble. That's a waste of my time when they should have been. It should have had all its parts and hardware with it. I should just be able to put this thing together and go use it. But I'll be glad when I get it together. I think it's going to be a pretty kick-ass little tool to have around. It's got 4 wheels instead of 2, and they're actually actual rubber tires, and they do hold air. They're not airless tires or anything like that. You do have to. They even have air in them, but I'm gonna probably check the PSI in them. Well, apparently you can't put a tube in them too. No, they can hold up to 300 pounds. That's actually pretty good. The tire size is, if you guys are wondering, I'm just trying to. 30 psi cold. Okay, that's not too bad. I don't know if I'll put that much in there. Tire size here is 4.10 by 3.50 by 4. If that makes sense to you guys. Looks like these are a 2-ply or something. The good news is bad news is they do have bushings in them. But I think if you need to replace the bushings, which you probably never really should have to, but if you should have to, you probably could just basically unbolt it, because they are bolted on there. You can just unbolt the hub or the bushing and probably take it into your local body shop, and they probably would be able to punch them out and put a new one in. You know, it probably would cost you a little money, but I don't think you'll ever have to replace them. If you're using it on a daily basis and you're running the thing 10 hours a day, you're moving around for 10 hours a day, you probably would eventually wear them out. For me, I'm only going to probably be moving the thing twice a year, so put it out in spring. It's going to sit there all summer, and then when winter hits, put it away. That's what I do with that cheap thing. I just leave it out, because we use the hoses so much that we don't bother, you know, moving them back and forth from here to the house. We just leave them out there. So yeah, I was a little scared at first. I thought maybe I lost a couple bolts or something, or screws. They claim that it claims that it's there, so they're all there. But yeah, this hose reel holds up to 300 feet. I think a 5/8 hose, I think it was, which is what I have. I also plan on replacing my hoses too, because they leak. But one thing at a time. Everything's expensive. Yeah, 5/8 inch hose holds up to 300 feet. Yeah. So I'm going to try to get this thing together. Usually kind of get my uncle involved, but I don't know. I'm just going to try it by myself, see how far I get. I mean, there's not much for parts. It's just to figure out what bolts go to what holes and screws and whatnot. So yeah, that's going to be interesting, guys. So yeah, let me get a little further in this, and then we'll see. We'll see how far we get. So see you guys in a little bit. Alrighty, guys. So welcome back. Second half. It's obviously you can see it's dark out now. Had to quit for a little while. Took me about. Well, the haul of trees took me about 2 hours. No, not quite that. About an hour. And I'm going to apologize right now. I did not get it on video like I planned to. I'm going to train. Forgot the GoPro. And I also had forgotten my cleavage pin. So I had to go back for the cleavage pin, but then just had never thought of grabbing the camera and sticking it on the windshield. So yeah, let's just say the first branch. Shut up, train. Was about, I don't know, taller than the tractor and wider than the tractor, much wider than the tractor. It took up the whole entire road. This is only a single lane road, you know, those gravel roads. So Almost took out a power line over by the farm. There's one that jumps across the road. The branch managed to flex enough that wasn't going to grab the wire. Almost took out the neighbor's mailbox. I had to remember to move over. Still just barely cleared it. And yeah, that was the biggest tree. 1586 had no problem, of course, pulling that big monster. And the second one was a little bit smaller, so that one was okay. The way my uncle cuts trees, he's not a pro at it. Like he's had more experience than me, but he doesn't really follow the rules when it comes to sawing. You're supposed to make an undercut first, so then when the tree does fall, it doesn't peel the bark away or anything stupid like that. Well, he forgot to do that, so trees are a little dickered now, but whatever. We got plenty of those damn trees anyway, so if these two did die, skin off our nose, but it is what it is. So unfortunately, yeah, I did forget to bring the GoPro. Kind of sucked. Had to pull the 25 footer off my cultivator and use that because that little tiny chain that I had on Big Red was not going to do it. It would have snapped it instantly. And plus, those two trees, they were still hooked to the tree, so we had to yank them with the tractor. So to break them off, again, 1586 didn't even know that I was doing that. I basically did it. Well, it was between idle and half speed. It's basically around that range. There wasn't really a lot of power there. And I did it in low range, so there's plenty of torque there when you're in low range. Just not enough power, but enough torque to do it. But other than that, got that done. Just hung out with my grandma for a little bit. She let her birds out, so I figured I'd stay around for about an hour. Then get back to probably about 8:30. It is now, last time I checked on this phone was 10:15 at night. So luckily I'm not making a lot of racket because I'm after hours of can't make any more noise now until morning. But for what I was doing here, it wasn't really going to make a lot of racket. So I got finally got the hose reel complete. The instructions are not very straightforward. They tell you what to do, but they don't tell you what size bolts to really use. I ended up, well, I guess I'll show you. Let me just lift up this damn camera out here and I'll show you exactly what's going on. Okay, so there it is right there. She's all installed. I'm a little bit concerned about that. This might be too close, but that might be alright. These bolts right here, they go here. I had accidentally put them here. So these bolts are longer, and I put those there, and I was like, well, how come those are so much longer? And then when I put the short ones in here, I found out the short ones were too short, so I just ended up flipping them around, and everything went back together just fine. I don't think my mom kind of did see this a little bit. She came out to tell me about the weather. She didn't see that the basket was on. The basket wasn't even on yet. I was still fiddling around with the bolts. I don't like what they did here. They used a flat Phillips screw, which is a regular nut. I would rather have seen a bolt with a locking nut. Funny thing is that for the wheels and this and that there, you got to put those bolts in, are Phillips heads with locking nuts. I love the locking nuts. They are slow to put on. Oh, and down there too. Those are locking nuts. You actually have to put two of those clamps on each side. There's supposed to be 4 in total to give it its strength. But yeah, they were Phillips heads with locking nuts on the back, which is what I like. They're slower going in. I know that, but they're for long. Without having to touch the thing for a long time, that's worth it because they won't come loose. Hey, kitty, kitty, kitty. Did you come to remind me? Yeah. So right now the stars are kind of poking out, and the cat came to visit. Haven't seen a cat in about 2 hours. The wheels, they are bolt-on. I think they said in the book that they were 13 millimeters. I think. I could be wrong on that. Yeah, I don't remember now. Shit. Right here, I think. Yeah, I don't know. It's just... Yeah, right here. Number 9. Okay, so if you go to number 9... Let's see. I want to see it right here. If it's here somewhere. It says that they're 12 millimeter. Let's see. Yeah, right here again. No. Lock nut. I don't know, something about those numbers. It just wasn't right. So I ended up for the wheels. I didn't have. Well, I don't think I would have had. The sockets here weren't big enough. I don't quite think. No. I had to break out the impact gun. But I did have the correct size wrench. You do need at least a wrench on one end and something on the other end, because the shaft is supposed to be kind of like a half key thing, but I don't know. I think it would still rotate anyway, even though it's not supposed to. I think, as far as I know, but yeah, I just used it. I just used an impact, and then I put a wrench on the other side. They were bigger than what they said, but one of these wheels is bent a little bit. It's not. Let's see, which one was it? I don't know if I'm going to really worry about it too much. This thing's going to be a pain in the butt to turn, but you probably could get smart enough and just do that. These wheels are still a little bit loose, like there is some play in them, but they say not to over tighten them. One of these wheels had a slight bend in it. I don't know, it might have been the axle, but like I said, I'm not going to worry about it. And this is actually, yeah, up to my fat gut. So this is a much better reach. If you can kind of somewhat compare it to my old reel. Yeah, right there, that's, yeah. Much better. Now this holds up to 300 feet of hose, which I'm not going to put on 300 feet. I'm probably just going to put on about 100 feet. That's all I need. I was going to probably put that hose on, but I do plan on replacing those hoses. So we got a little flex in there though, which I guess is alright. Yeah, it's just the wheels that got some slop in it. This was quite interesting here, putting this hose on. There's no washer in there. It's basically, see, like in here, you got a rubber washer. In there, I think it's just like a flat piece of metal. I guess that's supposed to stop it from leaking. I don't know. Like the hose. Hose is definitely a lot longer. This is the hose that goes up to the fountain of your house. So, and then your garden hose gets screwed onto here. And I guess you just wind it up. So, obviously I did it somewhat correct. One, because I don't have any leftover parts, and two, it looks just about right from what the book says, or the box. There's the part number for, that's probably Northern Tools. 41726. That's the part number. I believe that's for Northern Tool, because you can buy these on Northern Tool as well, but I got mine on eBay. So you can see the big gaping hole that I was worried about. I thought maybe some parts would fall. There is a part in here. It's actually just this metal tube or whatever. It's kind of iffy, but, and they weren't really explaining what bolts would go in here. I just had trouble understanding this. but it came together as I was just putting it together. But overall, is it heavier than probably that with the hoses on? Now this is super light, but with the hoses on that shit and it's broken, yeah, I think go to hell. It's done its job here. So I honestly think this almost weighs about the same or a little bit less than what that would when it's full of hoses. I won't know yet until I put hoses on this thing. But I'm not going to do it till tomorrow because I'm done for tonight. I'm not going to worry about it. It does have a nice little basket, which I don't know if I'll ever use it. I put it on anyway, might as well if I have it, right? Speaking of that, actually I will put it to use tonight. This is a new nozzle that we picked up, or whatever you want to call this thing. Our other one still works, but it's got a slight leak, but I'm going to keep it for a backup because it still works. But there you go, it's holding its first tool. But yeah, I just like the fact that it's, you know, it's up higher, the handle, and I don't have to get out of here. Like that thing, I can only pull it. I can't push it or whatever. This I can push, I can pull. The only thing I can't do is I can't make like left and right turns. You pretty much will have to kick it up on two wheels to do that. Other than that, I don't know. I put it together myself. I didn't even ask my uncle. Usually I get my uncle involved. I did not check tire pressure yet in these things. I don't think they're going to really need a lot of PSI in them anyway. But other than that, I haven't really tested it out quite yet, but I think it will. Yeah. Works pretty good. You have to make sure that you put, before you mount this thing, make sure you put that little rubber washer thing inside of it, or whatever, bushing, because otherwise it'll grind. But and this was tricky too. Looks like I could actually crank them in a little bit more, but I can't. This was kind of tricky here. This mount, it actually shares a bolt here, so it was a little tricky at first, but you know, just start with something that's simple and then go from there. You got pictures and stuff. I don't know if the book's very accurate. You can see the workbench is a mess, but it's freaking ridiculous for the amount of, I mean, I had to use you probably could have gotten away with the regular sockets, you know, like these, if you had one big enough for the wheels, but I didn't. The only ones I had bigger are unfortunately impact sockets. So yeah, I know what size those are. The bolts on the wheel, they're also locking nuts, which is nice. Looks like they're 3 1/4. There you go. That's the size socket you will need to put the wheel nuts on. And they're locking nuts too, so you don't really ever have to worry about them falling off. But other than that, for the time it took me to put it together, you know, one person, I suppose it would take you maybe about an hour or two if you're pretty good at it. For me, I kind of had to take my time. So, ooh, it's just getting cool out. So, it's just getting late too. I need to shut her down. But that's what she looks like. Can't wait to put some hoses on there and test her out. But unfortunately, I won't be doing it. Like, I'll be probably put the hoses on tomorrow. But they're talking some pretty heavy rain for here. We haven't had rain since the snow melted. We've had a couple of sprinkles, but that's about it. That didn't do nothing. So we kind of need the rain, so I'm not going to really complain. Just hoping to kind of test this bad boy out, but that's alright. I'll just, ooh, she's been a little dented there. I'm not gonna ever touch that anyway, but just test it for leaks, make sure she's good, see how I like it. So far I'm liking it. I'm liking the idea that the handle's, you know, pretty much chest level compared to that dinky little thing. Now, what's stupid is that you can buy another one just like this, but it's made by a different company. Same design and everything, but they want like $160 for it. I don't know if it's just brand. I don't know. Maybe these IRONTONs are a little bit cheaper. Just by maybe just the brand itself. I don't know. Hardware seems the same, I think, pretty much. So I went with this one. I like the black color. I gotta just figure out which one. I guess I gotta put the hoses on one way, but whatever. I don't know. I'll figure it out. So yeah. So that's pretty much it, guys. I'm gonna call it quits for tonight. I've been at it. I've been at this since I got home. It's probably like 10:30 now, and still gotta wash my hands yet. And if it's raining tomorrow, that's fine. I can spend, you know, a little bit of time in here. You know, I'm not gonna keep these hoses on forever because I plan on replacing these hoses because they leak as well. They're shot. So and you probably saw those hoses. Well, those hoses are junk too. So all these hoses are gonna go when I get the new hose. Just looking for something a little bit better. It's gonna obviously cost me more money, but that's all right. So I don't know. Other than that, I'm pretty happy with it. So far, she's pretty light. You're probably not going to be able to really... Nah, you probably could pick it up, throw it in the back of a truck if you had to, but I just take advantage of it. If you got some ramps, sure, put some ramps up. Use some boards or something, you know, and instead of breaking your back, trying to load this, you can just push it up there. So, yeah. But all I can say, I'm pretty much all done. I'm not even going to clean up the shop tonight. I'm not going to clean it up. I'm just going to go. Take my 4-wheeler key. Don't forget that. Take the 4-wheeler key. Take the book in. And like I said, I'll clean it up tomorrow or something. Make sure you take these little caps off. See, some parts have caps on them. You know, take them stupid ones off and just throw them away or something. So that's pretty much all I'm taking in. I'm leaving everything else behind for tonight. I'll walk up. So there you go, guys. That's the IRONTON or whatever you call it. Hose reel. I could have went a little crazy and bought a trailer one that I could pull behind my 4-wheeler or my mower for like 100. Again, it's like 160, but I wanted to try this. I think it's definitely going to be an upgrade from that. The trailer would just be laziness, but hey, I'm lazy, so I do have a trailer here, but I have future plans with that for a different job. But yeah, I'll try this out for a year, see how I really like it, and yeah, I think that tire's got a slight bend in it. Yeah, a slight bend. And then maybe at the end of the year, I'll do a 1-year review or whatever, and whatever, the spring or this fall, I'll do a review on it and tell you what I think, if it's had any issues or not. But so far, I've been pretty happy with it. So put some hoses on her in the morning, I guess. So alright, guys, I'm taking off. So I guess I have a good day and stuff. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Take her easy.